The college football experience, East Carolina Pirates 2024 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your first deposit offer. Up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Yes, Rhythm's college football and NFL picks and projections are all now live. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is RITHMM. Once again, that is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to the college football experience. East Carolina Pirates 2024 season preview episode. It's early in the morning to be talking East Carolina football, but hey, you know, that's the beautiful thing about ECU fans. We talk in our sleep. Sometimes I'm in the middle of my sleep and I say, you don't go to East Carolina with a weak heart. All right. Excited to break this team down with you, as obviously, you know, they are the reigning national champions in my mind. Yes, youtube.com/the college experience as we break down all 134 teams in the land with the solo podcast for every single team. Excited. And if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swing at Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
This right here is just, you know, we're going to the promised land right here. I mean, I talk to him a lot. Got the helmet here. Got everything ready to go. Let's go, Pirates. I am joined by my co-host. He is the DFS god. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, a free lot giving, former Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's going on, man?
What's going on is 12-team playoff. And ECU looks out there and says, we can do this. We can fucking do this. It's a big year for Mike Houston, but
huge year.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like, I'm not a hater, but at the same time, like, there's been little things that bother me. Now, he did have to pick up the pieces after you know, Scotty Montgomery, who was a mole for NC State, Duke, and North Carolina. He was in the medical triangle over there. This is like Manchurian Candidate. And you guys we were beating the shit out of Duke, North Carolina, and NC State so much. You guys had a secret meeting, 11 floors below, you know, ground surface.
All the North Carolina ACC schools came together and said,
they did. You know what? This pirate shit has gone too far, right?
It's almost like Texas coming down on SMU in the 80s, right? We're like, what can we do?
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. And they said, well, we have this shitty coach named Scotty Montgomery, but get this. we might be able to get East Carolina to fire a great coach named Ruffin McNeil, which and by the way, that old athletic director is under investigation still to this day. And don't have me be a chef because I will rat poison that motherfucker.
Well, you like to call NC State the pussy pack, but ECU is definitely the pussy pirates under Montgomery because that team was soft.
But hey, I was doing a deep dive on this. They were soft, but he still beat NC State and North Carolina. So as much as I want to say they're soft, so no, they're not the pussy pirates because they still got it done against both those teams.
How many points did Navy put up on them that one year?
That's true. No, but look, as long as it's not the pussy pack or North Carolina doing this to us,
fair enough.
But where are you at with Mike Houston, man?
Yeah, it's an absolutely huge year. It's year 6 already. I agree. His first 2 years in 19 and 20, just throw out the window because he really inherited nothing. But since then, a couple years, 7-5 regular seasons, okay. But then 2-10, 1-7 in a watered down AAC. He needs to rebound from that and do it quickly. He needs to at least go bowling this year, or I think he's gone. He should be thankful he even got this long of a leash because a lot of coaches would have been fired after what happened last year.
Well, I think he had, the more I thought about it, the more I don't think he should be fired because he had the Scotty Montgomery disaster and then he had COVID. And I feel like it's hard to jumpstart a program when you had COVID.
Okay. Throw out those 2 years, but then year 3, which we're calling last year, 2-10.
Yeah, the biggest failure for me is the special teams because even those really good years that we had with Holton Ahlers and everything, and that's another thing. We lost like a super senior quarterback last year, and it showed. That team was 8-5, but if you make your field goals. I mean, they might have made we wouldn't have the 12-team playoff there, but I'm saying go back to that season. They lose to NC State by 1 with 3 missed extra points and a missed field goal to win the game, right?
Yeah.
The Navy game, we end up losing to Navy in overtime. Should have never went to overtime. Missed field goals, right? And a missed extra point, I believe, in that game. The Cincinnati game, same situation. So that should have been a 10-2 team if you just have decent special teams. And then last season's debacle. Now, last season, I will say, look, they were ass. Their offense was ass. The defense was actually really good. And that's why I think it was misleading. Their record was misleading. And I know this win total has jumped up a bunch after Phil Steele released his magazine. Shout out to Phil. He'll be on the show, I think next week. If we can. I thought it was going to be this week. It's looking more like next week. But look, folks, we're going to talk a little bit more about Mike Houston and that ECU offense. But before we do that, I want to tell you are listening to the College Football Experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And the Sports Gambling Podcast just launched their 32 NFL team preview series. Yes, we know the NFL's got that cockamamie kickoff that they got to delete. But don't worry, there's still money to be made. And as a bonus, each team preview for the NFL will include a code word. Submit the 32 code word phrase at the end, and you could be the lucky winner who gets a $500 NFL Circa future bet. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast and the SGPN app, which is free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. All right, we are back talking Pirate football. Look, this is something that I find crazy to me. And this is to your point on Mike Houston, youtube.com/the college experience. The guy is 1-4 against Navy. Doing your homework on the Navy games, I feel like every game is a missed field goal. It's approaching Bobby Bowden Miami level because not one time have they gotten blown out by Navy under Mike Houston. Every single game is a close game that results in last season was I think 10-0, but the other ones were all 3-point games. For some reason, he can't beat Tulsa, but yet he's undefeated against Memphis. You figure it out. The big news here is that offensive coordinator spot. So first off, Mike Houston's 103-57 in 13 years as a college football head coach. 24-34 though in 5 seasons at ECU, and that's the big thing. I think he's coaching for his job this year potentially.
No, he is.
But the OC hire is the one that has me just. I'm through the roof on this one, man, because John David Baker is coming in. He was the co-offensive coordinator of Ole Miss, NC Nick. Because one of the things we've been so goddamn conservative lately, like we've been playing Schottenheimer ball on offense, and it drives me crazy sometimes. But Blake Harrell's doing a great job at the defensive coordinating spot. But really, why I'm so excited about this season is just a little bit of aggression on offense. I think could be all the difference with this defense. And
was that by design or necessity last year? Because the quarterback play was so bad that maybe they just didn't have the guy to be able to open up the offense.
Fair. I mean, that was but Mason Garcia was like their highest rated recruit in a long time. And
sometimes you swing and miss.
Yeah, they swung and miss. All right. But dude, if you look back at a season ago, I know you see 2-10. In my mind, like they were a lot better than 2-10. If you go back and look and at each like a game by game scenario here, yes, the offense was fucking horrible, but you look at that Marshall game, ECU actually had the lead with like 10 minutes left in that game. Like they had been up the entire game. Get this, Marshall does a wide receiver screen pass. You know what I mean? Where like the guy drops back, catches it, and then throws it. So Marshall takes the lead on like a 80-yard trick play, right? To go up 17-13. The very next possession, and there's probably 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. But I think that was Marshall taking the lead for the first time in the game. Pick 6. And then we get the ball back, another pick 6. So you're looking at it, it's that 31-13 is bullshit. That score's lying to you. App State, we had the lead at halftime. Yes, App State deserved to win that game. They battled back and got it. But Rice 1-score game. The SMU game was 10-10 late in that game, right? Charlotte game, you shit the bed, lose by 3. I thought they played fairly decently at the Alamodome against UTSA and Tulane, lose by 3 to Tulane, right? Lose by 2 to Tulsa. The Navy game was 3-0 in the fourth quarter. So like, to me, they beat Florida Atlantic. I think they were right there. Like, as far as like, when you look at 2-10, most 2-10 teams lose by 30 fucking points every week. This team is a lot closer to being good than they are being 2-10 again, in my opinion.
And obviously the offense was a problem. I mean, there were 7 games where they didn't break 20. You know, they only broke 30 once.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that, I mean, the offense, obviously, yeah, you're right. The defense was very good last year, especially considering they got nothing from the offense. And it was a very mistake prone offense too. I mean, look at the turnovers. The 3 quarterback, or I guess 2 quarterbacks, Finn and Garcia, they threw 7 touchdowns and 14 picks. So for that defense to do anything with how bad of an offense they were, that's impressive. And that's why you have hope for this year, because I still think the defense is rock solid. And the offense just has to be better. It can't be as bad as last year.
Oh, especially with that OC. To me, like, just do simple shit. I mean, I love our running back room. We're gonna get to it. Let's get to it. But first, we do this thing with all the group of 5 best wins. And look, there's just so many on here from the state of North Carolina and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, we beat Virginia Tech so many times they canceled the series. Hey Hokies, please, if you want, give us a call. I know Kramer's still upset about that game in Charlotte. 38-0 at Duke. Your comments, NC Nick?
Duke had some very, very down and dark years. That was a while ago.
The stretch, and then look, if you see the Virginia Tech and West Virginia stretch there, those were 2 top 10 teams back-to-back weeks that took an L to Skip Holtz and the East Carolina Pirates. And look, if it doesn't work out with Houston this year, why don't you call Skip Holtz? Look, you got 2 pages of this. Look, Scotty Montgomery right there, 41-19 against North Carolina, 21-16 against NC State. Or no, it was 33-30 against NC State. What's the best win there?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of good ones, and obviously that slide right there is stating their case for the ACC to come calling, because they've had some success against a lot of ACC teams. So I don't know if there's one really good one that stands out.
No, it's the North Carolina one when
70-41. There you
70
go.
And what was the old Carolina's coach?
Fedora.
Yeah, he had talked shit coming up into that week. So that it was even better that we dropped 70 on that bum ass team. All right. Folks, look, we're going to talk about the offense heading into this season. I'm excited about John David Baker coming in, But before I do that, I want to tell you the East Carolina Pirates 2024 season preview episodes brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Fantasy just launched Underdog Streaks. Hit your first 2 pick'em entries, and then we're going streaking. Yes, bring your green hat. If you can get on an 11-0 run, you can win 1,000 times the amount of money you enter. Plus, Best Ball Mania is live with $15 million in prizes. They just added another college football contest for best ball. Let's be honest here. College football best ball. Are you kidding me? We've been waiting for 20 years for this thing. We're going to cover it a lot on this platform. NC Nick and Mac, I know, are doing an episode tonight regarding yes, college football best ball, folks. It is here. Get in. You can now use specials and boost on all flexed entries. So sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCE SGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. That's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code TCE SGPN. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of the MLB, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch with killer last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. All right. And it's not just MLB. I mean, look, if you're going to get rowdy at the Dowdy, pull out that Game Time app. If you're going to go to the jungle to catch a great ECU baseball game, pull out that Game Time app. All right. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the redeeming code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, terms apply. Create that account, redeeming code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Back talking East Carolina Pirate football here. And I'm excited for the season. NC Nick, you were notoriously famous for walking around Greenville, probably about 35 Jameson shots deep, carrying a fully cooked hot pizza like a briefcase. Your comments, good sir.
Hey, that pizza was delicious. Sure, some of the cheese kind of slid off the breading, but when you're that hammered, it doesn't matter.
It's true.
People were out to get my pizza. I bought that pizza, and you moochers were trying to get some of that. I was hungry. That pizza was mine.
Walking around ECU's campus at night, just with a little business briefcase full of pepperoni pizza or some shit. Fantastic stuff.
A lot of fun at that Greenville campus there.
Yeah.
Everybody should go to a game there, especially if they can turn it around. If they have a good team, especially if they're hosting like a big game where you got like a P4 team coming there, it's a fantastic environment.
May or may have not slept on a few bushes, some grass.
There may be a picture of you kind of passed out in the malt.
Yeah, and I had, I was thinking about this. Me and Patty C were talking about this. It might have been the sudden ad lib to spray paint my my purple shirt with ECU. Did I put fuck Virginia Tech on that? I don't even remember what I wrote on that.
Sounds right.
But Patty C was asking if I had if that might have got me high. The paint, and I said, what? I didn't think about that. It's certainly possible that I could have been, not only consuming large amounts of alcohol, but also a decent amount of spray paint to the dome.
Wouldn't be your first time huffing paint.
Yeah, look, if you got to go out and get rowdy at the Dowdy, folks, if you haven't, all right, they do college football, right? They do the jungle and baseball, college baseball. Get on over there and check that out. We're trying to bring it to the Coliseum there for basketball and I smell a big year for Mike Schwartz and the ECU team coming up this year.
And may the Schwartz be with you.
There it is. That's what the episode was missing.
There was nothing that we couldn't do. We set out to defend our name, and now we'll never be the same. Never be the same. 'Cause we believe.
We do believe Mike Houston's going to turn it around, and it starts right here with turning around the shit ass offense from a year ago. 124th, a bottom 10 offense a year ago. I got your recruiting rankings right here for you, Patty C. 17.3 points per game, dead last in the AAC. 127th in yards, dead last in the AAC. They weren't dead last in the AAC in passing. That's only because Navy throws about 16 passes a season. 110th in rushing. That was 12th in the AAC. So we got that. Good God. So glad for the dawn of a new day on the offensive side of the ball in Greenville. What stands out to you most there?
I mean, you can't just blame the offensive coordinator. I think it all starts with the players. I guess what stands out is that they had a really bad rushing attack, even though I think they got 2 or 3 pretty damn good running backs. But when you're so limited, through the air, everybody can load the box. The offensive line play wasn't good. They gave up 31 sacks on the year. Poor Alex Finn, who wasn't very good to begin with, got sacked 28 times. So there's nothing there that's good.
Well, they were too predictable of an offense. I actually don't believe the O-line's that bad. I think they were super predictable. Teams knew you couldn't throw the ball. So on first and second down, it was just like run. Oh,
and then it's third and long, and you blitz.
It was the most predictable offense. So that's gone though. John David Baker coming in. He's going to channel his inner Steve Logan. And by the way, if anyone's listening to this in the Greenville area, can someone get me in touch with Steve Logan? I've been trying to get in touch with Steve Logan for a while. We had Jeff Blake on the show, legendary ECU quarterback.
He used to come on the local sports radio in Raleigh once a week or so, but I haven't heard him in a couple of years. I think he's retired playing tennis. He loves tennis.
Okay, well, look, he's gonna love calling into this show once we get a hold of him. All right,
we need
Steve Logan. All right. I have Jeff Blake's number. I'll call Jeff Blake right now and find out, because I even think he's like, I'm Facebook friends with him. I got to get in touch with him. Someone out there knows Steve Logan. Send me an email. Send me an email at the Colby D on Twitter, whatever. We're trying.
He's a big wine guy too. Loves his wine.
Oh, I happen to love alcohol too. So look, we got something in common, Coach. All right. And with that, let me just play the great Steve Logan.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
That is Steve Logan. And look, if I'm calling my shots on last year, we did not go for it every time. All right. We did the most predictable offense every single time. And that's why we got to get back to being ECU. All right. You don't play with a weak heart. The good news, 6 starters back on the offensive side of the ball. You could argue 7 because of the running back depth. But Ray J. Harris back there at the running back spot. I feel like he's been in college 20 years. Chase Soul, he was a transfer last season, kind of a good year there in Greenville. And 4 of 5 on the O-line, NC Nick. And then
now to your point, was that O-line just really awful last year, or was it just, a microcosm of the offense as a whole? But whenever you see 4 guys coming back, you have to like that.
Yeah. No, I get terrified when I read the name Andrew Conrad. I need a whiskey just for that. But when you make this old logo, you think they should go back to this thing?
I like it. It's fire. But ECU can do no wrong with like logos and uniforms. I think everything they do is pretty fire.
Yeah. 6 starters back. They did lose Mason Garcia, their biggest recruit, to the Governors of Austin P. Enjoy, Austin P. Gerald Green, who was solid. Like I said, I kind of like Gerald Green there. He goes to Troy, but we had so many running backs. The big one there is Shane Calhoun to Texas A&M, and even Ryan King. I thought he hasn't landed anywhere. I thought he was encouraging, but I'd say those are the big ones there. Glad the offensive line did not get plucked apart, because as we saw the year prior, Auburn came in and grabbed our left guard. Yeah, and then what they did on the offensive side of the ball. Let's just talk about this, because not only do you bring in former huge recruit Jake Garcia, who Patty C's been preaching about. So Jake Garcia originally committed to Miami. He was at Miami. He lost the QB competition to Van Dyke, right? Van Dyke had a great first year, and then he transferred to Missouri. So he was at Missouri last season. Didn't start over Brady Cook, who was previously a starter. I'm excited about him. And then Caden Hauser comes in from Michigan State. So by default, we have two quarterbacks. We actually have a third quarterback there, Bryson Harrison, coming in from Georgia State too. But like, the quarterback room is in such better shape than a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that like I'm huge on Garcia or Hauser, but they played, big time college football, and to step down to the AAC, either one of them, whoever gets a starting job, is going to be a lot better than last year. It has to be. Yeah.
And well, just the fact, like Garcia, Patty C has shown me enough film where I like buy in. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a huge upgrade. And he's rumored to be the starter, but we'll see. Then they go out and get, who has one of the best running back rooms in America? Penn State. All right. So London Montgomery coming into an already like a backfield with Harris and
Bond and Gunn.
Gunn is a guy that I've always been impressed with when I see him. I love our running back room. And then Winston Wright from Florida State. Now he was Florida State had gone out and got him from West Virginia a couple years ago. He was West Virginia's leading receiver on the team there. And then he got in a car accident. So I love this Winston Wright get. And then Anthony Smith. What the hell is going on here? Anthony Smith. I mean, look, I understand you want to have a better life. You know what I mean? Like life's all about decisions, but you made a horrible one by going to the pussy pack. And now you come into Greenville. Like, I'm just going to say this. We can't fully trust you. All right.
Another mole.
We could have another mole. All right.
Well, I mean, he's a fifth-year senior who has 13 total career catches. So I don't know. I mean, some people are saying he's going to start. We'll see. Winston Wright is a sixth-year senior who's had, like the car accidents and personal problems. But I think you like bringing in that kind of experience, older guys to go along with your returning receiver in Chase Owles. So I think you upgraded the receiver unit.
Oh, and Casey Kelly from Oregon. I know they've been raving about him. So he's their starting tight end coming in there. Although Javante Connor from Ole Miss following the OC over too, and a couple offensive linemen there too. Like, they really won the offensive side of the ball in the portal.
Oh, hands down. I mean, the only starter they lost, because I'm not including Mason Garcia as a starter, but so they lost their starting tight end. If you're going to lose one guy, that you might as well be the tight end, right? And especially because they got two guys coming in from Oregon and Ole Miss at the position. So you've been telling me that what's it called, the Pirate Club or something?
Boneyard Collective, baby.
Boneyard Collective. But apparently the NIL Collective is doing things, because they were able to not only keep most of their guys there, but also brought in some talent.
We got our Golden Corral money. We got our Vince McMahon money. We got our Ric Flair money. We got our Pick Dundee money. Well, I mean, the Pick Dundee money is an airport bottle of whiskey in the outside of Dowdy Ficklin. All right, meet
that's
me there.
Appreciated there.
Yeah. I think the offense is going to be much better. Like just the coordinator change too, the philosophy. If you watch Ole Miss, they're super aggressive. So that is what has me very, very excited about the future there with Mike Houston and the Pirates this year. Got to talk about the defense, but before I do that, I do want to tell you that the College Football Experience ECU Pirates Edition is brought to you by Rhythm. The football season is here, and college football and NFL models are now live on Rhythm. Create your own winning betting model, or let Rhythm do all the heavy lifting for you. You decide what stats are most important to you, and then Rhythm will build a custom model around that. Or you can just sit back and let Rhythm and its predictive model do all the heavy lifting for you. Rhythm uses AI projections from MIT data scientists and quants. It's funny, when I was in my days down there in Greenville, so a lot of referred to me as a quant, NC Nick. One time when I woke up in the bushes there after a long night of drinking, I remember someone was going to class and they said, "Hey, is that Is that Pick Dundee? He's a quant.
I'm not sure what that means, but I think those are fighting words.
It's true. I did start throwing punches right then, and then I fell asleep again in the bushes. But no, look, Rhythm already has you covered for NFL Week 1 and college football Week 0. I love the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets plus the 13 in Dublin, Ireland against Florida State. Jump in, claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. Once again, that's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by Circa Survivor and Circa Millions. Yes, Circa Sports is back with Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Imagine the regret you're going to feel if you enter your little office pool, you win $200 and I don't know, like a gym membership or something. Who knows? But you went 18 for 18 on your picks or something. Those picks would have been good anywhere. You would have been a millionaire had you entered Circus Survivor. If you don't have a trip booked before, or if you don't have a trip booked for Las Vegas yet before football season, may I recommend Ultimate Contest Weekend? It's a great time to go out. You can hang with my pals, Stacking the Money Green and Real Money Kramer from the Sports Gambler Podcast, and enjoy some of the open bar events at the greatest sports book in the world, August 22nd to August 24th. Also, the Bet Detective, CJ Sullivan's going to be there too. Use the promo code SGP15 to save you 15% off your hotel room as well for that weekend. Sign up in person at Circa between now and September 7th. You can use a proxy to play from anywhere. It's not like you got to fly back to Vegas every week. So we even have a deal with footballcontest.com. So just go to proxy.footballcontest.com, enter the promo code SGP. We'll save you $50. Let's go. All right, back on the ECU preview. The defense, considering they're on the field 90% of the time, dude, I actually think this might have been a top 20 defense when you think about how long they were on the field for. 37th in the nation in scoring per game, 3rd in the AAC, 37th in yards, 3rd in the AAC, 58th in passing, 4th in the AAC, and 29th in rushing, 3rd in the AAC. Buddy, if you just stay on offense a little longer, these numbers are probably in the 20s.
Oh, very impressive. Right. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think, the AAC's got a bunch of like really strong defenses. So you could argue with a little bit more offense, this might be the best defense in the whole conference. What do you think?
Yeah. And I know Mike Houston has been outspoken that this is by far the best defensive line he's had there.
I was going to say, I think that's probably the best unit on not just on the team, but also maybe the best defensive line in the conference. They got a couple of guys that might even be on NFL radars.
Yes, and let's talk about that. They return. Well, oh shit, did I mess this up? No, there we go. They return 8 starters, dude, including 3 defensive tackles. So I know that you're not going to be able to play all of those, but if you're judging by how many starts a season ago, 3 of those would qualify. Chad Stevens also back. So 4 back on the D line, linebacker Michael Edwards back, and 3 of 4 in the secondary. Punter Luke Larson back as well.
The only person in the secondary not returning is now a Dallas Cowboy, Julius Wood. He'll be missed, but I mean, the fact that so many people on both lines of scrimmages come back on the O line, the D line, you got to love that as a Pirate fan.
Oh yeah. And they did get a few guys like Ra Dilworth. I would have preferred to be back, but he was a transfer from North Carolina. Once again, you can't trust these sons of bitches. All right, when they come in, you just can't. You can't trust them. He heads out to Baylor, and then Tegan Wilk is a guy that would come in and play as well. He went to Houston. Besides that, I mean, I guess Antoine Jackson for some depth. Taylor Jackson's on the schedule. He goes to the Flaming Libs of Liberty. Yeah, I mean, look at what they brought in though, man. This is what's got me excited. Jaden McKenzie from Ohio State. I was on the Ohio State Buckeyes podcast, the Ohio State of Mind. And obviously we're going through who left for their team. And I get to this one and I go, tell me I'm an ECU guy. And they're like, oh, he's going to be a stud. He's going to be a stud.
And he's not even a projected starter right now. So,
yeah.
I mean, that tells you the depth of that unit.
And Raheem Craig definitely played a bunch at Louisville. So he comes in and he's projected to start on this D line. And then Damian Wilson, this guy started 4 or 5 games, I think, for Missouri last season at the linebacker spot. Then you bring in Andrew Wilson Lamb from Dub V. Gavin Gibson from Maryland, Aiden Duncanson, who started, I think, 3 or 4 games at North Carolina last season, still can't be trusted, but, and punter Connor Maynard from App State, who also can't be trusted.
On the schedule this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Definitely gonna have to talk to him. It's okay when it's a punter. I don't worry as much because you don't really involve them in the offensive and defensive plays. I love Drip Tona, who's a Carolina fan. Yeah, shout out to Jake Paquin in the chat too, and Edwin Moore. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I really think the defensive side of the ball, we're going to be the best defense in the AAC. Write it.
Yeah, I mean, just look at not only the defense, but ECU definitely won the portal. They, according to what 7x24 Sports, they had the 4th best portal class in the AAC, also the 6th best recruiting class. So Houston is still bringing talent in there.
Yeah, I'm optimistic that he's the guy to get to take us to the top. All right. You look at the success that JMU's had, and even at the Citadel, when he was at the Citadel, he beat South Carolina at South Carolina. Mike Houston did. So I'm not ready to give up. We just got to make some field goals. All right. The win total is sitting there at 6 wins. Now what's crazy is if you had looked at this win total, say May 15th, it was at 4.5. It's come up a full 1.5 games. And then it, not only that, it's also like Vegas leans to a 7-win season. The over's at -140, the under's at +120 over at DK right now.
I'd say it's a heavy lean, -140.
So Phil Steele's magazine comes out, where I don't know if you've listened, but Phil Steele has them as his number 1 most improved team in the nation. With his models, I think saying that one's calling for a 10-win season.
Woo!
They're
going to go from 2-10 to 10-2. I say pump those brakes a little bit.
Dude, I can tell you this: we don't have any Power 5s on the schedule. We normally do.
Finally, ECU got the message, because ECU used to play. They were like Boise, kind of anybody, anywhere. They would play like on a Tuesday night. They would go to at Syracuse, follow that up by at Florida or something. So I guess in a very critical year, I think you're happy to see an easier schedule.
Agreed. Especially with the 12-team playoff now.
Yeah.
Plus 1,800 to win the AAC. Plus 10,000 there to make the 12-team playoff. And to win the Natty, plus 300,000, which I already have a few tickets on that. It's hammered at Circa. But let's talk about the schedule, because week 1, the Spartans of Norfolk State.
First off, you got to love the local flavor of their out of conference schedule.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're just trying to dominate Southern Virginia from the get go, and then sprinkle in App State. Got to love the regionality.
1-0. It's happening.
Yes.
Then we go on the road to SB Ballard Stadium. Take on Old Dominion. 2-0.
It's tricky.
2-0.
ODU lost a lot in the portal. I tend to agree with you.
Then these sons of bitches, they got lucky last season. They got lucky. We were up at halftime. It ain't happening. Bring your ass down to the Dowdy. This place, we're taking it. The goalposts are going down for this. All right. 3-0.
It's a fun game. So here's my deal with App State. I like App State more than ECU. I think App State's better than ECU, but I came out and said App State beats Clemson the week before. I know that's a long shot, but if that is true, then I have App State losing at ECU the next week. So I will hold firm to that and say ECU wins this. But I do think that if App State doesn't beat Clemson, then they beat ECU.
They haven't won in Greenville since like 1955. It ain't happening
games
here
either there. How many times have they played in Greenville?
I think it's a decent time, like 7-8 times, something like that, 9 or 10 times.
Most of the time as an FCS team.
Well, it's not my fault. You finally got your shit together. All right.
Well, what happened in Boone last year? What happened
That's
in
what I'm saying.
Charlotte a couple years ago?
That's Charlotte. Fucking bullshit NFL stadium. Play on a college campus the way you're supposed to. All right. 3-0, and then they had to take on the Flaming Libs of Liberty.
This is our first L.
Yeah, but I actually, dude. So they beat the shit out of Jamie Chadwell's Coastal Carolina team in a bowl game. I'm excited about this matchup because when you look at what Sam Houston could do to them, Sam Houston I thought was a great defensive team. It is year 2 of Chadwell, so I do expect Liberty to be a lot better than a year ago. But I think ECU has the defensive line to really fuck with that offense.
Fair enough, but I don't think. I mean, ECU has to prove a whole lot more to me before you have them beating ODU, and Liberty.
I would favor Liberty, but I like I said, so I got them 3-1. But I'm just saying I'm intrigued by that game because I do think our strength could really fuck up if, much like Sam Houston was able to last season. Is my point. Is like I think it's an interesting matchup. I wish it was in Greenville because I would take us to win for sure in Greenville. 3-1. You got them 2-2.
Yes, 2 no, because I'm giving you App State because I have App State beating Clemson, so I'm 3-1 also.
Well, I love this game here because I want UTSA in the first month of the season, and guess where I want them? I want them in Greenville, North Carolina. We played them tight last year. Like I said, that score is a little misleading. Go back and watch that game. We're beating UTSA in Greenville.
I'll disagree. I say UTSA gets it. They're further along as a program.
Yeah, these Texas boys don't know about Dowdy Ficklin. They got their little filthy Alamo Dome with fucking Mano Ginobili's fucking jersey in the rafters. Get that shit out of here. All right.
3-2.
No. 4-1. Then they had to take on Biff Poggi and Charlotte. This is a tricky one. I do think we win this game. But
get that revenge from what was it 10-7 a year ago. So I think ECU. I mean, come on, Charlotte went into the Dowdy last year and won. So this year I think ECU gets it.
And that's 5-1 for me, dude. If they can get to 5-1 from here, you want to talk about a path? They have a path. They get a bye week, great bye week right before
Nicely
Army
position.
Yeah, 6-1.
I'm gonna say they dropped the Army game.
Oh my god!
Oh come on! You got this team going 11-1 or something. Get out of here!
You're goddamn right, I do.
I need to remind you they were 2-10 a season ago.
No, I got them. I'm like Phil Steele. I got them 10-2.
All right, so hold on. Let me calculate where I'm at right now. I have them at 3. I have them at 4-3.
I mean, pathetic. They're winning at Mikey Stadium. Then they get the Temple Owls to come to Greenville. Please, that game's already over.
5-3.
Then the second bye week, right before a Thursday night, you got Tom Herman and Florida Atlantic coming into Dowdy on a Thursday night. Please,
I like FAU this year, but I think it's a bad spot, and I think Thursday night it will be a raucous environment. Give me ECU to take this one also.
Boom, and then this is the game I'm terrified about. Because I really do think we're going to have one loss. And this is that strange trip in the AAC where you're like, you fly into fucking Oklahoma City, you take a bus, you know what I mean? At H.A. Chapman Stadium. I got us losing to Tulsa. Tulsa has their number. It's weird. Tulsa always whooped up on UCF and ECU for some reason. I feel like it's always just a tough matchup, especially at H.A. Chapman.
Yeah, perfect spot for Tulsa here after FAU. I mean, maybe ECU and FAU are towards the top of the AAC standings, before they play. If ECU can beat FAU, I think it's tough to turn around and fly out to Tulsa. I agree. They lose this. So I'm at 6-4 now. You're at what, 8-2?
9-2, buddy. One game. Oh no, 8-2. You're right. At North Texas. Yeah, we got this one.
Yeah, I think they split those 2 road games. So if they lose at Tulsa, they can get North Texas.
And then, the group of 5 playoff on the line, the AAC championship on the line, Navy coming to Dowdy Fick. We're making the field goals this year. This is a win. I will see you in the AAC championship. I know.
Hopefully they don't drop 70 on them again. I don't think that's going to happen. To your point, I think it was the Army game that you mentioned, or maybe it was the Liberty game about the strong defensive line for ECU. I think that can give Navy some problems. I'll have them winning this 2 and going 8-4.
10-2. See you in the AAC championship. Get your futures, folks. Get your futures there. Plus 1,800. And I'll be honest, like, if they can just like buck that 3-game stretch of App State, Liberty, UTSA, you get through that somehow. Watch out.
Well, what you like is that there's no guaranteed loss on the schedule, and there's definitely some guaranteed wins like Temple and Norfolk State. I mean, I guess you could argue that's the only 2 guaranteed wins, but there's so many more games against teams like, Army and Navy and North Texas, Tulsa, just kind of average teams, and yeah, there's no Michigan on the schedule like there was last year. So even though they like the out of conference, I think it's fun and they play some pretty good teams. I think they'll at least be 2-2. And especially if they can go 3-1 or something out of conference, then it's going to set them up for a pretty nice season.
Yeah, and shout out to Robert in the chat, who's an ECU fan. Yeah, we have one of the best corners, if not the best corner in the AAC. But hear me out on why I think this is just a lock. Last year we played the national champions at Michigan. We also played at Appalachian State, which is not easy, right? We had a home game, non-con to Marshall. Marshall's better than Old Dominion in my mind. And then SMU was on the schedule, right? Tulane was on the schedule. We had to go to UTSA, right? We had to go to FAU, which I know FAU, once their quarterback went down, they were ass. But this year's schedule, there's no Memphis, there's no Tulane, there's no South Florida.
There's no SMU either, obviously.
Yeah,
SMU
that's
one
what
of the
I'm
better
saying.
teams in the Americans, so the Americans easier again. So, I mean, this is why your guy Phil Steele has you as his number 1 improved team. So so your ceiling is what? 10-2?
No, my ceiling's 11-1. My ceiling's 11-1.
Well, this will be more interesting. What's your floor?
Well, like I think they should be legit like favored, and probably the Liberty game would be their ones that there'll be dogs. They could be favored in every other game considering how close the season.
App State's gonna be flipped.
No,
App State will be favored. Yes, they will.
No.
Yes, they will.
Get out of here. Want to bet on that?
Yes. Bet on who's gonna be favored? Yes. At
ECU?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see about that, because when they lose by 45 to Clemson, we'll see about that. I would say the floor would be what? You lose to App, you lose to Liberty. Yeah, if you go 0-3 in that stretch, and then like snowball effect could happen. If you
4-8,
if you open up 2-3, then but the backside of the schedule is so nice. I think the floor is like 5-7.
I don't know. For a team that was 2-10 last year, what if those quarterbacks don't really pan out? I mean, it's not like those quarterbacks have played, very good football.
But they're still just way better. And I actually think
I agree.
I also just think the offensive coordinating, just the fact we have good skill position players. We've had good skill position players. And when you're being super conservative, you're not giving your best chance to win by keeping, these great skill position players, not giving them the chance to win essentially. So I just think the fact that the offensive coordinator hire he'll do that whether the quarterback plays bad or not. So
what record keeps Houston's job? 6-6?
Yeah, 6-6. I think keeps his job.
5-7, and he's gone.
He might be gone there. I think at 5-7.
I think that's more than fair too. I think ECU's been patient. They've been more than fair with him. The time is now.
Time is now. We're gonna do the goddamn thing. See you in the AAC championship. Hopefully, we're hosting too.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, let's go. I'll go to that damn thing if that's happening.
Yeah.
Let's go. And there's rumors that I could be potentially at either the FAU or Navy game. So if you want to meet up in the parking lot, huff some paint. Let's go. All right, folks. I'm on Twitter at the Colby D. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Let us know your thoughts with East Carolina season. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC__NICK. I'm sorry. Jeez. Don't forget that he's doing a best ball college football episode tonight with Moneyline Mac.
8:30 Eastern time.
There
Join
we
in.
go.
Draft
Get on
with
over
us.
there. Come draft. College football best ball is finally here. Also check out the Stadium Heads podcast. We do a great. We talk about the history of college football stadiums, and just what makes college football so great. And Dowdy Ficklin is a great stadium. You know, that's the largest Group of 5 stadium in the FBS. And go listen to that. Go listen to that episode. I think you'll dig that. The AAC preview for all their stadiums. The AAC does have some great stadiums. Liberty Bowl, the Rice Stadium there in Houston. So go check out all of that. North Texas's new stadium's nice too. Yeah, go listen to that. And then what else? Check out the FCS college football experience if you want to know about Norfolk State. Also, check out the college basketball experience as, like I said, Mike Schwartz has got it going. Let's go Pirates. And the college baseball experience. Are you kidding me? Cliff Godwin, he's got these Pirates ready to make a deep run next season. I can feel it. I know the portal's been insane, but don't worry. We're coming back strong next year. All right. Till next time, folks. This is the college football experience, East Carolina Pirate style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
We believe in the Pirates, in the spirit of ECU. We believe every moment there was nothing that we couldn't do. We set out to defend our name, and now we'll never be the same. Never be the same. 'Cause we believe.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina. You don't come to East Carolina. You don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I like it.